While time spent grew year after year, and Legion's overall performance is slightly ahead of the prior expansion. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. Hey, it's Soul. It's May 5th, 2017. This is Warcraft Weekly, and let's just get right to it. I hope everyone has had a good week so far. My week wasn't all that great. I actually had a migraine headache on Sunday. I still didn't beat that damn Mage Tower, the tank artifact challenge thing. My team and I finally nailed a one-day clear of Heroic Nighthold, which was a very welcome win. And of course, I put out some content. Now, for the most part, I'm just going to stop mentioning that sort of stuff, the whole self-promotion sort of thing. I think I do that enough. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the channel update vlog, so let's get right to the news. During last week's news, we talked about Eden Hesychostas and the Q&A, and during that Q&A, they talked about what they're going to do about certain add-ons, such as WorldQuest Group Finder. Add-ons like that were causing certain kinds of problems with latency in part of Blizzard servers, and the best way that they were able to handle it is to kind of change the way those kinds of add-ons work that effectively disabled them. Basically, you wouldn't be able to automate the whole farming and joining of groups anymore. The developer of WorldQuest Group Finder seemed kind of hurt by that and issued a statement that day that he wouldn't be developing the add-on any longer, or at least it kind of came off like that. The community in turn kind of, not exactly turned on him, but just kind of give them a swift kick in the ass that, hey, you know what, you can design around this, if this is a problem, but this is something that can be overcome, and it has been. So now everything's back to relative normalcy. It's not like Blizzard was actively seeking to kill this kind of add-on. In my opinion, I think that Blizzard wants to create this sort of feature in a future expansion or so, but they're supporting it. They don't want to, just kill this behavior, but they do need kind of a band-aid fix for the issues that their servers are having. As an FYI, just recently, MMO Champion posted something about World Quest Assistant, a different kind of add-on that probably does the same kinds of functions, but it's something that you guys can try out if you want. Blizzard did a kind of retrospective on the Riddler's Mind Worm. If you don't know, that is that weird-looking snake mount that you're able to get by traveling all over the world and clicking on certain books, whether they were like somewhere in the total boondocks of the planet or certain instances and dungeons. For those who were participating in that investigation, Blizzard kind of went back and talked about the different clues that were provided and gave their take on what the intended clues were, because as we know, this community is pretty nuts. A lot of what we were able to find was just based on, tens of thousands of players searching around, looking all over the planet for these very hidden pages. In this case, to get them out, a lot of references from Warcraft Chronicles was used, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty nerdy. Based on data mining, you were able to take a look at the different page numbers. From there, put the page numbers together, and you would get the ISBN for the Chronicles book. Anyway, I'm going to put a link in the description so you folks can take a look. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if one day Blizzard tried to do, something like this again and used some sort of ARG or augmented reality sort of game. Kind of like what they did with Sombra and Overwatch, but hopefully it won't take as long. I'm sure it definitely won't take as long. Two quick PSAs. Children's Week is going on from now through May 8th. This is the holiday event where you take a random child of your choice and take them on a tour through the horrors of Azeroth. Also, the Darkmoon Fair is coming Sunday. That means for folks that don't happen to have Flying quite yet, or are just trying to push Exalted as efficiently as possible, make sure to pick up the reputation buff that you can get from the Darkmoon Fair. So basically, you just kind of want to maybe save your Legion Fall War supplies that hopefully you're starting to get from those Elite Strike quests. Those are the special missions from the Command Center that can take up to 6 days to complete. So hopefully if you can kind of shorten that mission time and maximize on the reputation gain, well, you'll get that sort of bonus, so that would be cool. Activision-Blizzard held their quarterly earnings call, but no one cares. All they care about is that statement that I said at the very beginning of this piece, that Legion's overall performance is slightly ahead of the previous expansion, which was Warlords of Draenor. Fans and critics are interpreting this in lots of different ways, mostly because the word slightly has been left in that statement, which makes you, of course, wonder, like what happened to all the millions of demon hunters that were created just before Legion started? What happened to all the explosive growth and all the cool things that Legion's supposed to bring us, and, how we're supposed to get back to like 50 million subscribers or whatever it's supposed to be? Of course, the debate and that speculation is going to continue, but I'm going to provide just a few more pragmatic thoughts. By the end of this year, WoW is going to be 13 years old. If you happen to have been playing since launch and you had a kid, your kid's going to be a teenager. WoW so far has observed 3 US presidents, and I guess something that relates better, has observed 3 console generations. It launched while Windows XP was the dominant operating system and just before Windows Vista came out. So how much growth do even the most rabid fans, including myself, expect? I don't. I just want WoW, this game that I've been playing like forever, to continue treading water and stay afloat and still give me stuff to do. It would be nice to wave a flag and kind of brag that my team, you know, my game, that has tons and tons of subscribers again, but ultimately that doesn't affect me very much. And the people who are observing and taking note of the millions of people that had made Demon Hunters or had bought the expansion box on the first month or first week of sales, you got to consider the fact that a portion of those people that are buying these expansion boxes are people that don't really play WoW the way that you and I do. They don't really subscribe. They're just here to like check it out. And as soon as the 30-day trial is up, you know, as soon as they renew their subscription for like that 1 month, then cool, they're done and that's it. Every time an expansion is about to come out, you can most definitely expect a really big surge of numbers and people that are playing the game for those first 30 days, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's just going to drop off a cliff. And that's not anybody's fault. These are just people that are here, again, to just check out the game and then leave. The fact that Legion is doing slightly better than Warlords of Draenor is, to me, is just an indicator of WoW remaining relevant throughout these years. Regardless of how you feel about Legion or the direction that WoW has taken over the years, how many games can you really talk about that has lasted this long but still command the kind of following that it still has? So if anything, I do give props to the team that has been supporting WoW, you know, for this long, knowing that it's most definitely on the decline, and it's going to continue to decline because of time. I'm sure that there is a difficulty with trying to keep your spirits up with a game that's lasted this long and that goes through, like, that is under so much pressure from its players still. Hopefully with the next expansion that's fully helmed under the new game director Ian Hezekosis, because at least in my opinion, I think that Tom Chilton still had a very, very big hand with at least with the initial development of Legion. Hopefully we'll see new paradigms and approaches that not only will keep players engaged longer, but perhaps will bring new players in or veteran players to feel enticed to come in and stay for a little bit longer. Hopefully they'll give us a Rocket Bear, #RocketBear. Or maybe they'll just roll out legacy servers and all the 100 million plus ex-WoW players will all come back and Blizzard will make bajillions a year again and everything will be okay. Moving on to 7.2.5 stuff, a new build was deployed, and one of the big things that was added was this whole Running of the Gnomes event. For those who don't know, the original Running of the Gnomes event is kind of a yearly thing that's done to kind of raise awareness for breast cancer. A bunch of folks roll level 1 gnomes, and then they race from point A to point B. It's much more productive than, say, my guild race, which is mostly designed to entertain me, much to the horror of the people that participate. I guess the one comment that I have about it is that assuming that this event is going to, of course, take place across all realms, I don't think that just anyone should just jump in, roll a Lobby Tune on their own server and do it. I think they should just wait until the official event is, well, the unofficial event is announced by the people that typically run the event, and then everyone can kind of join in and all coalesce on one realm. Because I don't think cross-realm grouping or anything like that, I don't think that's really going to cover. You really want to just, you know, hop in, preferably on the same realm, and participate all together. It creates that whole feeling. The bigger news, though, comes from a change that is not currently in the PTR. This has to do with the upcoming Mythic Keystone reward changes. The super quick summary is that Keystones are no longer going to deplete. They're no longer going to go gray and become total crap. If you happen to fail a run, the Keystone level just goes down and then randomizes to another dungeon. If you don't finish the dungeon at all, the Keystone level goes down by 1, but you still have the same dungeon. The big thing that folks are complaining about, though, is the fact that you can no longer, quote, 3-chest a dungeon. You're only able to, well, you're only able to 1-chest it. So now, whenever you complete the dungeon at all, whether or not you make the time, you're going to get 2 items out of a single chest. If you happen to beat the time, then you get 3 items out of this single chest, and that's it. There's no more destroying the time on your Mythic Keystone dungeon and otherwise getting like a super big reward. You just get a bigger upgrade, but that's about it. Reactions have been all over the place, but for the most part, the fact that the Keystones will no longer deplete has been, it's been pretty much accepted as a very good thing. I shared my thoughts in a previous video, and you can take a look on a link below, or I'll provide a card somewhere so you guys can take a look. I do encourage that people share their thoughts, whether it's in this video, the other video, or just anywhere else where you frequently talk. I consider Mythic Keystone dungeons to be what I consider a pillar of endgame progression. This change is not something to be taken lightly, so I think Blizzard would appreciate as much input and feedback as possible. All I encourage folks and players and fans and critics is to keep this thing civil and try to empathize and understand the needs and the desires and the playstyle habits of the different kinds of players in the world of Warcraft. We can complain and be as cynical as we want about Blizzard not listening to player feedback, but to say nothing or to limit your feedback to like memes and flaming, that really hasn't gone well historically. So that's the word, everyone. Thanks for watching. You can reach me on social media, or you can catch me on my morning show. That goes on a couple times a week, or you can catch me on my later night raid streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I hope you all have a good weekend. I am, because I'm going to finally see Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys.